After recently graduating from college, I landed a job as an actuary at a firm. This position is one that inherently involves minimal social interaction. Initially, I chose it because I believed I enjoyed solitude. However, that sentiment has drastically changed. The job's location was far from my family, and I found myself without any friends nearby. At first, I thought I could manage this isolation, but after 6 months, it became completely intolerable. Another issue that weighed heavily on my mind was my non-existent romantic life. For years, I had postponed the idea of pursuing a girlfriend. I'll get around to it later, I reassured myself, even though I was now 23 and had never been in a relationship. As time went on, the desire for romantic connection grew stronger, prompting me to create a profile on Tinder. I had seen plenty about it on YouTube and Instagram, and the concept seemed straightforward. Swipe right for the profiles you're interested in and swipe left for those you're not. If someone you swiped right on reciprocated, you'd be able to chat and potentially start a conversation. It seemed benign enough, and I held out hope that I might actually find a girlfriend. So I took the plunge, downloaded the app, selected my best photos, and crafted a compelling bio. I won't sugarcoat it. I spent an immense amount of time on that app in the weeks that followed, swiping whenever I had a chance. Some profiles included links to Instagram or Snapchat, and I tried reaching out to the girls whose accounts I stumbled upon, but to my dismay, I never received a response. I must have messaged at least 30 different girls, but it was all in vain. I didn't get any matches or likes either. In desperation, I turned to the internet for advice on how to improve my chances of getting matches. I tried every suggestion I could find, but still, the results were disheartening. To put it mildly, my self-esteem took a significant hit. Was I unattractive? So unattractive that no girl was willing to swipe right on me. Perhaps I was being too selective. No, those explanations didn't quite add up. I didn't consider myself ugly, especially not in the carefully selected photos I had chosen. And I definitely wasn't overly picky. I always tried to give girls a fair chance, even if I wasn't particularly fond of their smile or if they didn't seem like my type. While I didn't swipe right on every single profile, I certainly swiped right on the majority. What troubled me even more than the lack of matches was the absence of likes. Apparently, the app allowed you to see how many people had swiped right on you, but in order to view their profiles, you had to pay for a premium membership. However, this was moot because no one had swiped right on me at all. My desperation grew, and I won't hide the fact that I went on a bit of an in-app purchase binge. I ended up spending at least $100 to unlock all the features available. Even then, nothing improved. Just as I was starting to lose hope, something unexpected happened. It was 3 a.m. on a Saturday morning when I was mindlessly swiping through Tinder. Suddenly, I came across the most stunning girl I had ever seen on the app. Her name was Alexandria. She had long, straight, fiery red hair that cascaded down her shoulders. Her incredible figure boasted seductive curves, and her skin was a flawless milky white. Yet, there was something unusual about her. Her eyes. They were an unforgettable dark purple. The color seemed so natural, but I assumed they must have been colored contacts. Her bio read, "Swipe right to be comforted." As I swiped right, my heart raced with excitement when I saw for the first time that I had matched with someone, specifically the breathtaking girl I had just admired. My fingers fumbled nervously as I hurried to send my opening message. "Hey, I'm Sam. I'm really thrilled to meet you. You were my very first match." The response came in almost instantly. "Hello, Sam. I'm Alexandria. It's a pleasure to meet you too." I could hardly wrap my head around the fact that this was actually happening. "You're really stunning," I typed, hoping to make a good impression. "Thank you, Sam. I think you're quite handsome as well. Do you like my eyes?" "Haha, yes, I do. Do you wear those contacts all the time?" "That's actually my natural eye color." I was taken aback. I found it hard to believe her, but she seemed earnest. She explained that it was extraordinarily rare that a few people had this unusual eye color. She mentioned that less than 1% of children are born with purple eyes. I was skeptical but decided to let it go and continue the conversation. Alexandria turned out to be exactly my type: witty, genuine, intelligent, and adventurous. We spent 4 hours chatting before I finally drifted off to sleep. When I woke up the next day, we made plans to meet at a local park near my place. I couldn't shake off the feeling that she might be a catfish or even an eccentric old man in disguise, but to my delight, she was exactly as she had portrayed herself, and even more stunning in person. As we strolled through the park, our conversation flowed effortlessly, and for the first time in my life, I kissed a girl on the lips. It was an unforgettable moment, and the happiest day I could ever recall. I realized then that I truly wanted to be with her. I needed her in my life. Soon, we began dating. When I brought her home for the holidays, my family was thoroughly impressed. They were captivated by her beauty and charm, and it seemed that wherever Alexandria went, smiles followed. My dad gave me an encouraging pat on the back and remarked that I had found a keeper. Although I typically didn't place much weight on my family's opinions, this affirmation only solidified in my mind how perfectly suited Alexandria was for me. I longed to meet Alexandria's family as well, but she often mentioned that it would happen someday in the future. My curiosity about her family grew because she never spoke of her parents and had no siblings. I wanted to delve deeper, but I was careful not to push her, so I refrained from asking too much. About 4 months after we first met, Alexandria moved in with me, and for a time, life felt idyllic. The initial months were filled with joy and contentment, but soon, I began to feel a heaviness in my lungs that made breathing increasingly difficult. There were moments when I would cough up blood. When I confided in Alexandria about my symptoms, her reaction puzzled me. She appeared neither worried nor upset. In fact, I could have sworn I detected a flicker of disappointment in her expression, which I found strange. I decided it was time to consult a doctor. After a series of tests, including blood tests, MRIs, EKGs, and X-rays, the results came back largely inconclusive. The only anomaly was that my lungs were significantly weaker than expected for someone my age with no prior history of respiratory issues. The doctor regrettably informed me that there was little he could do beyond giving me a few injections for relief, advising me to visit the emergency room if my condition became more severe. Although I felt anxious about what was happening, I tried to carry on with my life. My lung issues became a constant annoyance. I could no longer enjoy running or long walks as I once did, yet I slowly began to adapt to this new normal. As time wore on, however, I noticed I was growing tired more easily, even with minimal exertion. Things deteriorated when Alexandria became more immersed in work. There was an unmistakable change in her demeanor. Our conversations dwindled, and she seemed to pay little attention to me. She started working late hours, and typically I would be asleep by the time she returned home. One evening, however, I found myself unable to sleep, and when I heard her arrive, I noticed something unsettling. She slipped into the kitchen, and it sounded as though she wasn't alone. Straining to hear more clearly, I rolled over in bed, feeling an uneasy curiosity about what was happening just beyond my door. He didn't last as long as I thought he would. I heard her murmur, her voice barely a whisper before a deeper tone replied, "Yes, I'd say he only has a few days left. What will I do once he's gone?" "Patience, my dear. We will find another life form for you to feast upon soon enough." "Is Claire already searching for a replacement?" "Yes, we have several possibilities in the pipeline." "Good." Their hushed conversation faded into the background as I drifted off to sleep, too exhausted to dwell on their words. But when I awoke the next morning, the memory of their exchange lingered in my mind, nagging at me. I wanted to convince myself it had been just a dream, but deep down, I knew it was all too real. I could feel the shadow of my impending fate looming closer. I'm writing this now, before it's too late. I don't fully understand what Alexandria is, but I regret crossing paths with her. If you happen to see a girl with purple eyes on Tinder, heed my warning. Don't swipe right.